My name is Lucas Reed. I'm 25 years old, born in Manchester, and I've spent most of my life learning how to hide what I feel behind calm words and quiet smiles. This is the story I've never told anyone. I call it, "She Came Over Crying," then said, "Hold me tight." There are moments that look ordinary from the outside. Just another knock at the door, another rainy evening, another tired heartbeat. But inside, they change the direction of your life forever. Mine happened on a Tuesday night. I'd just come back from work, my suit jacket tossed over the chair, tie loosened, head aching from a day full of meetings I barely remembered. I worked in operations at a mid-sized tech firm. Long hours, polite smiles, silent competition. The kind of place where everyone looked confident but carried invisible scars. I was heating leftover pasta when I heard the knock. Not loud, not urgent, just hesitant. When I opened the door, Emma stood there. My coworker, my friend, the woman I had loved quietly for almost 2 years. Her hair was damp from the rain. Her eyes were red, and she wasn't breathing properly, short, shaky breaths like she'd been running from something that finally caught up to her. "Lucas," she whispered. That was all it took. She broke into tears right there in the hallway. I pulled her inside without thinking, closed the door. The city noise vanished, and suddenly it was just the sound of her crying and my own heart pounding too hard for a calm evening. "I'm sorry," she said, wiping her face. "I didn't know where else to go." "You never have to apologize for coming here," I replied. She looked at me for a second, then stepped closer and said the words that still echo in my chest. "Hold me tight." I did, and in that moment, I realized this night wasn't going to end the way any of my nights ever had before. Emma and I had met 2 years earlier at work. She was in HR, I was in operations. Our desks were on different floors, but somehow we kept crossing paths. Coffee machine, elevator, late meetings, awkward team-building events. She had a soft laugh and a sharp mind. The kind of woman who listened more than she spoke, but when she did speak, people leaned in. I noticed her before I wanted to admit it. But there was a problem. She was engaged to Nathan. And Nathan wasn't just her fiancé. He worked in the same company. Senior management. Well-connected. Respected. The kind of man everyone assumed was perfect because he knew how to smile for meetings and charities. So I buried my feelings. I became the safe friend. The listener. The guy she trusted when she needed to vent about stress or family pressure. And she needed to vent a lot. Her family adored Nathan. Thought he was the future. The stable choice. The man who could give her the life they wanted for her. But Emma, she wasn't sure anymore. "I feel like I'm disappearing," she once told me during a late lunch break. "Like I'm becoming the version of myself everyone else wants." I wanted to say, "You deserve better than that." But I didn't. Because loving her in silence felt safer than risking everything. Until that Tuesday night. She sat on my couch, wrapped in one of my hoodies, hands trembling around a cup of tea she barely touched. "He cheated," she said finally. The words hit me harder than I expected. "Nathan?" I asked. She nodded. "With someone from another branch." I found messages. Plans. Lies stacked on lies. My jaw tightened. "I'm so sorry. I didn't even cry when I confronted him," she said. I just felt numb. But when I left his place and started walking, it all came out. She looked at me like I was the only solid thing in the world. I didn't want to go home. My parents would tell me to forgive him. To make it work. "And what do you want?" I asked. She hesitated. "I want to stop feeling alone." So I held her again. And this time, she didn't pull away. Over the next few days, everything changed. At work, we kept things professional. No one noticed the way our eyes searched for each other in meetings. No one saw how careful we became. But outside work, she kept coming over. Not always crying. Sometimes just quiet. Sitting next to me, watching TV we didn't really follow. Cooking together, talking about dreams we'd never said out loud before. One night, after too much silence, she said, "You've always been here for me." "What?" I swallowed. "Because you matter to me." She looked at me like she already knew what that meant. But love isn't simple when it grows in the shadow of other people's expectations. 2 weeks later, Nathan showed up at our office unannounced. I was in the break room when I saw him through the glass wall, standing near Emma's desk, his posture stiff, his voice low but intense. I couldn't hear the words, but I could see her face. Fear, confusion, pressure. Later that day, she texted me. "Emma, he told my parents everything. Twisted it. Now they think I overreacted." Me, I'm so sorry. Emma, can I come over tonight? That night, she didn't cry. She was angry. They care more about appearances than about me, she said. They want you to go back to him. They think love is just endurance. I sat beside her. Love is supposed to feel safe. She looked at me then, really looked at me. And for the first time, I saw something different in her eyes. Not just pain, hope. But hope can be dangerous. Because once you feel it, you can't pretend you don't want more. 3 days later, she didn't come to work. I texted. No reply. Called. Straight to voicemail. By evening, I was pacing my apartment, anxiety crawling under my skin. Then I got a message. Emma, I'm at my parents' place. They took my phone earlier. I just got it back. Me, are you okay? Emma, I don't know. They want me to meet Nathan tomorrow. To fix things. My heart sank. What do you want to do? I asked when she called. There was silence on the line. Then she whispered, I want to run, but I don't know if I'm brave enough. I closed my eyes. Emma, I said softly, you don't have to run. You just have to choose yourself. She didn't answer. But the next morning, I woke up to a knock on my door. And when I opened it, she stood there again, eyes red, bag in her hand, and the same words on her lips. Hold me tight. I didn't ask her to explain when she stood at my door that morning. Her eyes already told me everything. Fear, exhaustion, the kind of sadness that comes from loving people who don't know how to love you back the right way. I pulled her into my arms and held her tight, just like she asked. But this time, it wasn't only comfort. It felt like protection. Like if I loosened my grip even for a second, the world would drag her back to a life she didn't want. She stepped inside, dropped her bag by the door, and leaned her forehead against my chest. They said I'm throwing my life away, she whispered. That I'm being emotional, dramatic, that I'll regret it. What do you feel? I asked. She looked up at me. Her voice trembled, but her eyes were clear. I feel like I've been living someone else's dream, and I can't do it anymore. She stayed with me that day. We didn't make any dramatic decisions. No running away. No sudden confessions of love. Just two people sitting in the quiet, trying to breathe again. But that night, everything cracked open. We were in the kitchen, cooking something neither of us was really focused on, when she suddenly said, I think I love you. The knife slipped from my hand and hit the counter. I turned to her slowly. Emma, don't say that unless you mean it. She stepped closer. I've been meaning it for a long time. I just didn't let myself feel it. My chest felt like it might burst. I love you too, I said. But I don't want to be the reason you lose your family, your job, your world. She smiled sadly. You're not the reason. I am. Because I finally want to live honestly. That night, we didn't rush anything. We just held each other. And for the first time in years, she slept without crying. The storm came a week later. At work, Nathan filed a formal complaint. Not about cheating. Not about lies. About me. He accused me of being emotionally inappropriate with Emma while they were still engaged. He twisted our friendship into something ugly. Management called me in. HR opened an investigation. And Emma? She was pulled into it too. Sitting across from her in that cold conference room was one of the hardest moments of my life. We couldn't touch, couldn't speak freely, just stolen glances and silent promises. When the meeting ended, she found me by the stairwell. This is my fault, she said. I dragged you into my mess. I shook my head. No, I chose to stand with you. Her parents didn't make it easier either. They came to my apartment unannounced one evening. Her father stood stiff in my doorway. Her mother's eyes were already wet. You've complicated her life, her father said. Nathan gave her security, a future. And did he give her peace? I asked quietly. They had no answer. The investigation ended 2 weeks later. No wrongdoing. Just two adults who crossed emotional lines after a broken engagement. But the damage lingered. Gossip at work. Awkward silence in meetings. People choosing sides. Emma and I decided something then. If we were going to do this, if we were going to love each other, we wouldn't hide. So we told the truth. To everyone. Her family. Our colleagues. Liam, my closest friend at work. Even Nathan, face to face. I'm not here to fight you, Emma told him. I'm here to stop living a lie. He looked at her like he didn't recognize her. And maybe he didn't. Because the woman standing there was finally herself. Months passed. Slowly, the noise faded. Her parents came around. Not fully, but enough to stop pushing. Work became normal again. And Emma and I, we learned how to love in the open. Not perfectly, but honestly. One evening, we stood on the balcony of my apartment, the city lights blinking below us. "Do you ever wish things had been easier?" she asked. I thought for a moment. "No," I said, "because easy love wouldn't have taught me how strong you are." She leaned into me. "You know, I didn't come to your door that night just because I was broken." "Why then?" I asked. "Because I already felt safe with you," she said. "I just needed the world to fall apart before I admitted it. I used to believe love arrived quietly, soft smiles, gentle timing, perfect conditions. But now I know love often shows up in chaos, when you're exhausted, scared, and standing at the edge of who you've been. Sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do isn't holding someone when they cry. It's choosing them when the world tells you not to. And if there's one truth I'll carry for the rest of my life, it's this. The people who ask you to hold them tight in their darkest moment are often the ones who teach you how to finally hold yourself, too.